Welcome to TYT Sports on PLUTO TV and also on YouTube. Jason Rubin and Francis Maxwell here with you. We're going to jump right into three of the juiciest stories and news, three of which all separate, one to do with basketball, one to do with MMA, and one to do with the NFL, all in regards to some household names. First off, Francis, Lonzo Ball's father, LaVar Ball, getting into a beef with none other than Charles Barkley. Come on, at this point, you just gotta.
If you just say they got into a beef, maybe you could add in with an analyst. Maybe you could add in with someone, as long as you're letting them know it's a person and not an animal.
Wolves.
Yeah, wolves, just in case. But more often than not, it's going to be Charles Barkley.
We have to do some hardcore journalism, and at some point we'll bring you a great story of how many wins and losses Charles Barkley's taken in this piece, because I think he's probably like a 10-8 guy. First, Barkley had this to say on LaVar Ball when he was discussing. Now, a little more context right before I read this quote has to do with the fact that LaVar Ball brings a lot of attention to the Ball brothers, the three kids. Lonzo, who plays at UCLA and a surefire top 5, top 10 draft pick in this year's draft, and then LaMelo and LiAngelo Ball, who were at Chino Hills High School. So he said, just because you say some shit doesn't make it right, Barkley said. He's going to be better than Steph Curry? That's what he said. Steph Curry has won a couple MVPs. He's pretty good. Man, let me tell you something. That's that AAU shit. You can't say a guy is going to be better than Steph Curry, a guy who has played 30 college games. I know you can be proud of your son, but at some point, it becomes stupidity. Now, LaVar Ball took to Colin Cowherd's show on The Herd. We have a clip, about 30 seconds, of what LaVar Ball said to Charles Barkley.
Back to your Steph Curry, my son's going to be better than Steph.
Right.
If you could do it again, would you pull it back and say no?
And here's the thing, I don't pull anything back. Whatever I say, I say. It's just like what Charles Barkley is saying with all these guys. If Charles thought like me, maybe he'd win a championship.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh, yeah, it hurt. Because he's saying sometimes when stuff come out of people's mouth, it's just stupid. Guess what? You talking too. So everybody has an opinion how things work. I don't care about that. I put the goals up high, just like I was saying that my son is better. I know what my boy's about. I know what work he put in. It's not a one-on-one sport. But if it is one-on-one, I'm going to take the taller, faster, stronger guy.
And then lastly, for full context here, Barkley obviously has more to say. I didn't win a championship, he said at TNT CBS NCAA tournament media event in New York City. I don't know what his basketball career was, but I'd put mine up against his. His son's life is his life, not yours. No matter what he's trying to accomplish, it's not his. So I wish his son nothing but the best. His kid's a heck of a player. Francis Maxwell, do you agree or disagree that do you agree or disagree with Charles Barkley about LaVar Ball bringing too much attention to the Ball brothers?
There's two sides to it. I think when you look at the Colin Cowherd interview first, I think there's a sign that his father is making it about him a little bit and making the beef about him and Charles Barkley, which is fine because it might deflect attention away from his son. And that's what the role of a father, I think, is in a situation like this, is you want to kind of preserve the image of your son and not have him dragged into it. So I think when he's saying, well, if he won a championship, like, of course, him not being a notorious basketball player, the dad I'm talking about, he's going to then be dragged into it by Charles Barkley. It's an instinctive response. Well, what have you done? You know, you don't have any championships either. You haven't even played at the level I played at. So therefore, that makes sense. Where I disagree with Charles Barkley is I've always been of the idea that you set your goals through the roof, and if you don't reach them, that's fine. You know, if you set your goals low expectations, I'm under the belief, some people believe different, that you shoot for that expectation and you don't believe that you can surpass it. If you do surpass it, great. But I've always been raised by the idea that, yeah, you can be the best. I've never raised by the idea that I could be the next Cristiano Ronaldo. But I was always raised of the ideas, why not? His son has shown that he has the talent already to make it in the NBA at least, right? And again, making it seem that he's going to be of the same stature as arguably one of the best three-point shooters of all time, and a fantastic player already, might seem that he's jumping the gun a little bit. But would you rather him be a little hesitant and be like, well, we'll see how things happen, he could do it. Like, he's clearly done a good job as a dad, right? He has 3 sons who are all prospects and going on to have professional careers. That already is an amazing accomplishment. So he's obviously been pushing them throughout his life to reach that level of expectation. So why stop now? Why alter his point of view when it's worked to this point? Charles Barkley saying that, he's not going to be Steph Curry, to me that is it's not the point. He's not. I don't think his dad is saying it to create a beef between him and Steph Curry and create the conversation. I think he's just putting it out there so that his son thinks, why not? My dad's got my belief in me to do this. People have the belief in me that I can do it. I have all the support. UCLA, I've used that as a foundation, as a springboard, and what I've achieved so far, why not?
I agree and disagree with certain points of that. I think, personally, I think LaVar Ball wants the spotlight. Yeah. I think LaVar Ball has seen, and a lot of parents tend to do this, not all of them. And I'm going to use an example of a parent who had all the spotlight, was a pretty good player, now is a pretty good analyst, but stays away from it. Del Curry. Del Curry is really proud of his son, I'm sure, both Seth and Steph Curry, because they're both NBA talents. One went on to win a championship, maybe more. Seth Curry on Dallas has been playing pretty well. He doesn't seem to soak up the spotlight through his kids. Granted, it's a little different because Del Curry played in the NBA. I look at LaVar Ball, and I just can't help but think he sees the success that Lonzo Ball is having, and how he's going to be a high draft pick, and LaMelo Ball is a viral sensation, and LiAngelo Ball, unfortunately, not getting the same press coverage as everybody else in the Ball family because he's not pointing the half court and hitting in shots like that. There's no virality to what LiAngelo Ball has been doing. So where do you place blame for the rise of all the Ball brothers? Well, for one, it's the media. It's us and everybody else who, you know, can get a lot of clicks off the fact that LaMelo Ball hits a half-court shot by pointing to it, and Lonzo Ball is going to possibly take over the college basketball tournament. But I can't help but think that LaVar Ball just wants the same attention that Lonzo, LaMelo, and LiAngelo are getting because he wants to vicariously live through his kids. I don't think this is a bad thing. I just think that that's what it is. Now, in terms of setting goals, I agree with you 100%. Why can't Lonzo Ball be the next Steph Curry? I think it's when you should, I don't have kids, so what the hell do I know about parenting? But you should tell your kids, I would tell my kids, you can be whatever you want to be if you put your mind to it. Now, some people in today's day and age think like, well, that's not necessarily true. Phrasing, guys, phrasing. What do you really, you shouldn't be, I would think that I would never tell my kids, you could be like 3 of these 13 things. If you really put your mind to it, you could be like a great lawyer, but that's it. I don't think that's right. Set goals that are, of course, high when they're kids though, but at some point you gotta teeter off and set realistic goals.